My wife of 15 years cheated with her church buddy. So I exposed them to his wife, his pastor, served divorce papers, and kicked her out. Now she's begging for mercy. I've been teaching high school physics for 13 years, and if there's one thing I know, it's that energy doesn't just disappear, it transforms. Same goes for love. When it starts leaving a marriage, it doesn't vanish into thin air. It goes somewhere else. My wife Zoya started finding herself about 6 months ago. That's what she called it when she suddenly decided our family needed more spiritual grounding. We'd never been religious. Hell, we got married at the courthouse and spent our honeymoon camping in Colorado. But suddenly, at 34, she needed Jesus. I didn't fight it. Zoya runs events for a nonprofit, coordinates fundraisers, community outreach, the whole deal. She's good at reading rooms and working crowds. If she wanted to add a church network to her social circle, whatever. Might even help her land bigger donors. The Community Grace Church seemed harmless enough. Modern building, diverse congregation, programs for kids. Thesis 10 and into robotics, Ruby's 7 and loves anything involving glitter. I figured Sunday school might give us a few quiet Sunday mornings. But then came the Wednesday night Bible studies. And the Thursday prayer circles. And the Saturday morning volunteer prep sessions. You should come, Zoya said one night, adjusting her earrings in our bedroom mirror. She'd bought new ones, small gold crosses. Logan says the men's group is really supportive. Logan. The name that made her face do this subtle thing, not quite a smile, more like her whole expression softened and lifted at once. Who's Logan again? I've told you about him. He helps with the church's music program. He's actually a trained classical guitarist, studied at the conservatory downtown. His wife's some kind of researcher at the university. The way she said some kind of researcher with that tiny dismissive note. The way she knew his professional background but relegated his wife to a footnote. I filed it away. Here's what changed. Zoya stopped answering my texts with complete sentences. She started putting passwords on devices that had always been open between us. She'd angle her phone away when notifications popped up. She went from sleeping bare to wearing pajamas to bed. She'd kiss me goodbye like she was stamping a passport, quick, official, done. I could have confronted her. Could have done the whole jealous husband routine, demanded to see her phone, made accusations. But I teach teenagers all day. I know what defensive people do when cornered. They lie better, hide deeper, get more careful. So I observed. Like a good scientist. I started noticing patterns. Wednesday Bible study always ran exactly 2 hours and 15 minutes. She'd leave at 6:45 and be home by 9:15. Never 9:10, never 9:20. That's not how real meetings work. Real meetings run over when discussions get good, and early when people have somewhere to be. This was structured. Scheduled. Like she had a window to work with. Her appearance upgraded. Subtle stuff, better skincare routine, new perfume, something with jasmine, matching underwear sets. She started shaving her legs twice a week instead of whenever. Started wearing the kind of lip color that stays on through activities. 3 weeks ago, she asked if we could get dashboard cams for both cars. For insurance, she said. Becca from church got rear-ended and the other driver lied about it. The cam footage saved her thousands. Smart, I said. I'll install them this weekend. I installed them that night. Both cars. The one in her Accord had slightly better audio pickup than advertised. Amazing what you can find on Amazon these days. Tuesday morning, I was reviewing footage while she showered. Just checking if the angle covered enough of the intersection for insurance purposes, of course. Her phone rang through the Bluetooth while she was at a red light. The caller ID showed church, volunteer coord. Her whole posture changed when she answered. Shoulders relaxed, head tilted in that flirty way she used to do when we first dated. Hey you, she said. Not hello or hi, this is Zoya. Just hey you, soft and warm. The voice on the other end was male, low, intimate, missing you already. It's been 12 hours, she laughed. Not her work laugh or her mom laugh. Her bedroom laugh. 12 hours too long. Thursday can't come fast enough. I know. Me too. I should go, almost at work. Okay. Love you. My wife, the woman who served me divorce threats over leaving dishes in the sink, who scheduled our S-word life around her ovulation app, looked straight ahead and said without hesitation, I love you too. The light turned green. She drove on. And I sat in my empty classroom, watching my marriage end through a dashboard camera I'd installed to protect her. I didn't confront her that night. Or the next night. Or the night after that. Instead, I became a researcher in my own life. Every physicist knows you need reproducible results before drawing conclusions. One I love you could be explained away. Misheard. Misunderstood. Maybe she was talking to her sick grandmother who definitely didn't have a male voice. So I gathered data. Google Maps became my friend. Zoya and I shared location for family logistics, picking up kids, coordinating errands. Wednesday night Bible study was supposedly at the church on Riverside Avenue. According to her location history, she'd been spending those evenings at an address on Walnut Street, 4 miles away. I looked it up. The Walnut Street address was the Belmore Music Conservatory. Thursday afternoon, I left school during my prep period and drove past. It's one of those converted Victorian houses, all turrets and charm, with a discreet brass placard, private instruction by appointment only. Logan taught there. Of course he did. The dashboard cam kept delivering. Every Monday and Thursday, calls from church, volunteer cohort. Pet names. Inside jokes. References to last time and next time. She'd sit in parking lots after the calls ended, touching her lips, smiling at nothing. One recording caught her practicing a conversation. "Simon, I need to talk to you about something. I'm not happy. Haven't been happy. We're like roommates." She never finished the rehearsal. Her phone buzzed with a text that made her giggle and forget all about her practice speech. I started attending Sunday services. Told Zoya I wanted to support her new interest. She looked panicked at first, then tried too hard to seem pleased. "That's great, honey. The kids will love having us both there." Logan was everything I expected. Tall, lean, that carefully disheveled artist look. Shoulder-length dark hair that he'd push back while playing guitar during worship. Wedding ring prominent on his left hand as his fingers moved across the strings. His wife Violet sat 3 rows back with their twin daughters, pretty blonde 5-year-olds in matching dresses. The way Zoya watched him during the music set wasn't subtle. She stood in the front row, swaying, eyes closed during every other song but wide open during his solos. When he looked her way, which was often, she'd mouth beautiful and he'd duck his head with this private smile. I watched Violet instead. She looked tired. Checked her phone constantly. Left immediately after service while Logan lingered, helping tear down equipment, finding reasons to drift toward where Zoya just happened to be organizing volunteer schedules. I ran into Violet at Kroger that Tuesday. Literally ran my cart into hers coming around the cereal aisle. "I'm so sorry. Oh, you're Logan's wife, right? From church?" She looked surprised anyone knew who she was. "Yes, Violet. You're?" "Simon. My wife Zoya does the volunteer coordination. Your daughters are adorable, by the way." "Thanks." She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. They're handful. Especially with Logan's teaching schedule being so crazy lately. "Oh yeah, Zoya mentioned he's at the conservatory. Must be demanding. It didn't used to be. But he took on extra evening students recently. Some new program where parents want their kids to have lessons at unusual hours." She rolled her eyes. "Apparently Tuesday and Thursday nights are prime time for guitar instruction now." "That's rough. When does he have time for family?" "Good question." She grabbed a box of cereal without looking at it. "Sorry, I need to run. Night shift at the lab tonight." The pieces were clicking together. I checked our shared iPad that evening while Zoya was bathing Ruby. The deleted items folder in her email was a goldmine. She'd never figured out that deleting from the inbox didn't mean gone forever. Emails to Logan from her nonprofit account. "Thinking about your hands. Can't wait to feel you." Photos from the church bathroom, not fully explicit, but trying to be S-word in that awkward way people do when they're new to affairs. Her in black lingerie I'd never seen, posing against beige stall walls. And then I found the invoices. Venue deposits for fundraising events. The Marriott downtown. The Sheraton Plaza. Always $300 to $400, always for Thursday afternoons, always marked site inspection for future gala. I cross-referenced her calendar. No galas were ever held at those venues. The deposits were paying for rooms. Day rates at hotels where she and Logan were sleeping while I taught physics and Violet worked her lab job and thought her husband was teaching scales to ambitious teenagers. They were using church funds to pay for their affair. I sat back in my desk chair, looking at the evidence filling my screen. This wasn't just betrayal anymore. This was fraud. I called in sick to work the next day and drove to my friend Darren's law office. We'd gone to college together. I went into teaching, he went into family law. He specialized in high-conflict divorces. I need this to be hypothetical for now, I said, sitting across from his desk. He leaned back. Hypothetically, what's going on? I laid out the basics. Affair, evidence, financial fraud with nonprofit funds. He whistled low. Hypothetically, your wife is F-word. The affair makes it fault-based divorce, better for custody arrangements. The fraud? That's criminal. She could lose her job, face charges, maybe jail time. What about the kids? With evidence like this? You'd get primary custody easy. Courts don't look kindly on parents who steal from charities to fund affairs. But Simon. He set down his pen. Once you pull this trigger, there's no taking it back. I know. I mean it. You expose the fraud, her career is over. Not just this job, no nonprofit will touch her again. You ready for your kid's mother to be unemployable? I thought about Thesa and Ruby. About Zoya missing bedtime stories because of meetings. About her snapping at them for interrupting her texts. About the way she'd started treating our family like an inconvenience between her real life with Logan. I'm ready. Darren walked me through the steps. Document everything. Separate finances quietly. Get my valuables somewhere safe. Most importantly, protect the kids from the blast radius. I called my mom that afternoon. Hey, the kids have been asking about visiting you. What if you came down for a week or so? Is everything okay? It will be. She didn't press. Moms know. I spent the rest of the week building my case. 3 folders, each one devastating in its own way. Folder 1, for Violet. Screenshots of texts, transcripts of calls, photos, hotel receipts. Everything chronologically organized with a summary sheet on top. Clinical, clear, undeniable. Folder 2, for Pastor Douglas. The fraud documentation. Fake venue deposits, misused church credit cards, a pattern of theft spanning 4 months. Plus enough affair evidence to show why the money was stolen. Folder 3, for the divorce. Everything from folders 1 and 2, plus documentation of Zoya's checked out parenting, her emotional absence, the way she'd been setting up narratives about me being controlling in text to Logan. I struggled with Violet. She deserved to know, but involving her felt like dropping a bomb on those little girls. Then I remembered her tired eyes at the grocery store. The way she said good question about family time. She already knew something was wrong. She just didn't have proof. Thursday night, Zoya announced she had a fundraising committee meeting. Where? Church. Might run late, we're planning the spring gala. Which venue? She didn't miss a beat. Still deciding. That's what the meeting's about. I watched her leave at 6:30. According to her phone location, she drove straight to Logan's house. Violet's Instagram showed her at a conference in Columbus, posted a selfie with other researchers at 5 p.m. Logan had the house to himself. And my wife. I followed 40 minutes later, parked 2 streets over, walked through the suburban darkness. Their minivan was in the driveway. Lights on in the upstairs bedroom. I stood in their backyard like a cliché, but I needed to be absolutely certain before I destroyed 4 lives, 6, counting the twins. The bedroom window was cracked open. Spring air. I heard Zoya laugh, that real laugh she used to do when we were young and stupid and in love. Then Logan's voice, clear as day. She's at conferences every month now. We could have so much more time if you'd just tell Simon. Soon. After Ruby's birthday. I don't want to ruin it for her. That's 3 weeks away. I know. But Violet won't be any trouble, right? You said she's barely interested in you anymore. Violet's easy. She lives for her research. She probably wouldn't even notice if I moved out. What about the girls? They're young. They'll adjust. I walked back to my car with perfect clarity. They were planning this. Coordinating their exits, minimizing inconvenience to themselves. Violet and I were obstacles to remove, not people to consider. Friday morning, I made my decision. My mom would arrive Sunday. Monday morning, I'd execute the plan. Violet first, she deserved that respect. Then the pastor. Then Zoya. I marked the date in my calendar, April 15th. Tax day seemed appropriate for collecting what was owed. Saturday evening, Zoya's phone buzzed during dinner. She glanced at it, smiled, typed back quickly. Who's that? Ruby asked. Just someone from church about tomorrow's service. I saw the message preview before she tucked the phone away. Can't wait for Thursday. I have a surprise for you. Neither of them would make it to Thursday, Monday morning. I dropped Thesa and Ruby at school, kissed their foreheads, told them Grandma would pick them up for a special surprise week. Then I called in sick and drove to the university. Violet worked in the biomedical research building. I found her in the campus coffee shop at 9 a.m., exactly when her Instagram post showed she took her morning break. Simon? Hi, what brings you here? Mind if I sit? There's something you need to know. Her face changed. That shift from polite confusion to guarded knowing. She'd been waiting for this conversation without realizing it. I placed the folder between us. I documented everything. Take your time. She opened it. First photo, Zoya and Logan kissing in the church parking lot. Her hands didn't shake. Scientists are good at processing data without emotion getting in the way. She flipped through methodically. Texts. Timestamps. Hotel receipts. How long have you known? She asked, still reading. 3 weeks of certainty. 6 months of suspicion. The Thursday lessons. Yeah. She reached the financial fraud section. Her jaw tightened. They used church funds? Every hotel room. She closed the folder, took a sip of coffee that had gone cold, then looked me straight in the eye. He's done this before. What? 3 years ago. One of his students' mothers. I suspected but never had proof. He swore it was just friendship, went to counseling, made all the right promises. She tapped the folder. This is proof. This is what I needed. I'm sorry. Don't be. You just gave me freedom. She pulled out her phone. I'm texting him now that I need him home for a family emergency. He'll panic, come running. I'll be there with this folder and my lawyer. Yes, I've had one on retainer since the last time. She stood. What's your timeline? Pastor Douglas at noon. Serving Zoya papers this afternoon. Good. Hit them all at once, no time to coordinate stories. She grabbed the folder. Simon? Thank you. Most men would have kept this quiet, handled it privately. They stole from a church to sleep in hotels. Privacy went out the window. She actually smiled. Can I keep this? It's yours. I have copies. I drove to Community Grace next. Pastor Douglas had a plush office with leather chairs and photos of mission trips. He greeted me with that professional warmth pastor's perfect. Simon. Wonderful to see you more involved. How can I help you? I handed him folder 2. There's been theft from church accounts. His face went through a journey, confusion, skepticism, then growing horror as he saw the evidence. The fake venue deposits. The trail of money from church to hotels. The dates matching Logan and Zoya's volunteer coordination meetings. This can't be. Every receipt is there. Every transfer. Your worship leader and volunteer coordinator have been stealing from the congregation to pay for their affair. He sank into his chair. The board will have to know immediately. The legal implications. The scandal. That's your problem to manage. I just thought you should know where your donation money was going. What do you want? Nothing. Just handle it. My lawyer will be in touch about ensuring this doesn't affect my divorce proceedings. I left him making frantic phone calls. By the time I reached Zoya's workplace, a trendy cafe where her nonprofit team had Monday afternoon working meetings, my phone was buzzing. Logan, calling repeatedly. I sent him to voicemail. Zoya was at her usual corner table, laptop open, surrounded by her team of 3. They were planning some spring charity run. I walked straight to the table. Simon? What are you doing here? I set the divorce papers in front of her. You're being served. Her team froze. Zoya's face went white, then red. Are you serious? Here? Now? Fault-based divorce. Adultery and financial fraud. Your boyfriend's wife has her own copies. Pastor Douglas has the evidence of stolen church funds. Oh, and the locks are changed. Your bags are on the porch. Simon, please, can we? Your mom can pick them up if you'd rather. I turned to her stunned team. Sorry for the interruption. Good luck with the charity run. I walked out as Zoya started to stand, then sat back down, realizing her entire team was staring. Her phone started ringing. Logan, probably. By evening, my phone had 37 missed calls. Zoya came to the house at 8 p.m., saw her bags on the porch, and started knocking. Simon. Please. Let me explain. I opened the door but didn't unhook the chain. The kids are asleep. This isn't what you think. Logan and I, We're just friends who got confused. The money was for legitimate events that got cancelled. Stop. I have recordings of you practicing your breakup speech with me. I have photos you sent from church bathrooms. I have you on video saying I love you to him. Her face crumpled. Where are the kids? Safe. You can't keep them from me. I'm not. The court will. Financial fraud, Zoya. You stole from a church. She sank onto the porch steps. The neighbors were definitely watching. Mrs. Patterson across the street had her curtains cracked. Please. I'm begging you. You should go. Tuesday morning came like a fever breaking. I woke up to 17 text messages, 12 missed calls, and 3 emails from Zoya's lawyer, some bottom feeder who specialized in collaborative divorce. Good luck collaborating with evidence like mine. My mom had the kids at the science museum. I had a normal teaching day ahead. Except nothing was normal anymore. Logan showed up at my school during lunch period. He was in the parking lot, leaning against his Audi, looking like he'd slept in his clothes. We need to talk, he said when I walked out. No, we don't. Violet locked me out. Froze our accounts. She won't let me see the girls. Not my problem. He grabbed my arm. I pulled out my phone, started recording. Touch me again and this goes to the police. He let go, ran his hands through his unwashed hair. You don't understand. Zoya and I, it's real. We fell in love. You can't control that. I don't care about your feelings, Logan. I care that you stole from your church and destroyed 2 families. We never meant. Say it clearly for the recording. Did you and Zoya use church funds to pay for hotel rooms? His face went pale. You're recording this? Did you commit fraud with my wife? We were going to pay it back. When? After you both left your families and ran off together? He looked around the parking lot, saw other teachers watching through windows. This isn't over. Yeah, it is. The conservatory called you yet? His silence was answer enough. Violet had been thorough. Here's what happens now, I said. You're going to leave my property. You're going to stay away from my family. And when the church presses charges, which they will to save face, you're going to take your plea deal and leave Zoya to save herself. You're enjoying this. I'm surviving this. There's a difference. Wednesday brought new developments. The church prayer chain, supposedly confidential, had become a gossip superhighway. My phone rang with concerned church members fishing for details. I didn't give them any. The facts would speak for themselves. Zoya's nonprofit board president called me. Mr. Brennan, we're aware of situation involving Zoya. We need to know if any organizational funds were involved. Check her expense reports for venue deposits that never led to events. The silence stretched. We'll be conducting an internal audit. Thursday afternoon, Pastor Douglas announced a special board meeting to address financial irregularities. The church Facebook page exploded with speculation. Friday was when I made my final move. Zoya had been texting frantically all week. Apologies, accusations, bargaining, threats of custody battles. I hadn't responded once. But I knew where she'd be Friday afternoon, the cafe where she'd been served. Her nonprofit was having their farewell lunch for her there. She didn't know it was a farewell yet. I walked in at 12:45. Her board president was speaking, thanking Zoya for her years of service, wishing her well in her future endeavors. Corporate speak for you're fired, but we're avoiding a scene. Zoya saw me and stood up so fast she knocked over her water glass. Simon, what? I walked to their table, nodded to her now former colleagues. Sorry to interrupt. Zoya, you left some things at the house. I set down a manila envelope. Also, your mother asked me to give you this. The second envelope was thicker. Her mom had written disappointed but not surprised on the outside in her perfect cursive. My mother? She needed to know why you wouldn't be at Ruby's birthday party next week. I explained everything. Her colleagues were openly staring now. The board president cleared her throat. Perhaps we should. We're done here, Zoya said, grabbing both envelopes. She followed me outside. You told my mother? You vindictive. I told her the truth. Something you might try sometime. I want to see my kids. Your lawyer can arrange supervised visitation after you deal with the criminal charges. What criminal charges? The church won't. They will. They have to. Their insurance requires it for fraud over $2,000. You're at $3,800. She opened the first envelope. Photos fell out, not the affair ones. Different photos. Older. Her with someone who wasn't Logan, taken 3 years ago. What is this? Keep reading. Behind the photos were printed emails. Her secret Gmail account from her last affair. The one she thought I never knew about. Her face went gray. How long have you? Saturday. Brunch. Noon. You and Logan have a reservation somewhere, right? Your usual spot? I'll meet you there with the last piece. What are you talking about? The thing that ends this completely. You'll want Logan there when you see it. I walked to my car, left her standing on the sidewalk holding evidence of affairs I'd never confronted her about. She texted within minutes, "What's Saturday? What do you have?" I didn't respond. Let her spend the next 36 hours wondering what else I knew. Saturday noon. The Breakfast Garden on 5th Street, the kind of place that serves $15 omelets and calls hash browns palm rissoles. I knew they'd be there. Zoya's location services were still sharing with me, and she'd never figured out how to turn it off. They sat in a corner booth, leaning into each other like disaster survivors. Logan looked rough, 5 days of stubble, wrinkled shirt, the hollow eyes of a man whose wife had deleted his entire existence from their home. Zoya had tried harder, full makeup, her red dress that used to be my favorite. Playing the tragic heroine. I walked straight to their table. Logan started to stand. I held up a hand. Sit. This won't take long. What do you want? Zoya's voice was hoarse. Haven't you done enough? Actually, no. I pulled out a chair from the adjacent table, sat down backwards. There's something you both need to see. I placed a tablet on their table, already queued up to a video file. What is this? Logan asked. Press play. Zoya hit the screen. The video started, security footage from a coffee shop, dated 3 years and 4 months ago. Zoya sitting across from a man named Dennis. Her previous affair partner. Her voice came through clear, "My husband's oblivious. Honestly, Logan from church has been flirting with me, and Simon doesn't even notice. I could probably have both of them and a few more if I wanted." Logan's face changed. He looked at Zoya, who was frozen. The video continued. Dennis asking if she felt guilty. "Why should I? Simon's boring. Safe. Good father, stable income, zero passion. I need more than that. I deserve more than that. Someone like you. Or maybe Logan. You make me feel alive." I let it play for another 30 seconds, Zoya describing in detail what was missing in our bedroom, laughing about how I thought her gym time was actually gym time, then reached over and stopped it. "You told me Simon was controlling," Logan said quietly. "That he was cold, suspicious, that your marriage had been dead for years." "It was dead? 3 years ago, you were already talking about me? While you were with Dennis?" I pulled out another folder. "Oh, it gets better. These are from 18 months ago." I spread out printed Tinder screenshots. Zoya's profile, active while we were in marriage counseling. She matched with 47 men while I was trying to save our marriage. Asked me to go to therapy while she was shopping for replacements. Logan pushed back from the table. "You played me." "Logan, no, we have something real. You said I was your first affair. That you'd never felt this way before." "I haven't. Not like this." Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.